In today's podcast, we are jumping into the new year talking about marketing, partner marketing, charitable marketing, but really a lot about partner marketing. We have Tanya Smith on the podcast who is breaking down how she was able to build a multi-six-figure business with her partner marketing and what that looks like and what she was offering. So stay tuned. I'm Nicole Begley, a zoological animal trainer turned pet and family photographer. Back in 2010, I embarked on my own adventure in photography, transforming a bootstrapping startup into a thriving six-figure business by 2012. Since then, my mission has been to empower photographers like you, sharing the knowledge and strategies that have helped me help thousands of photographers build their own profitable businesses. I believe that achieving $2,000 to $3,000 sales is your fastest route to six-figure businesses, that any technically proficient photographer can consistently hit four-figure sales, and no matter if you want photography to be your full-time passion or a part-time pursuit, profitability is possible. If you're a portrait photographer aspiring to craft a business that aligns perfectly with the life you envision, then you're in exactly the right place. With over 350,000 downloads, welcome to the Freedom Focus Photography Podcast. Hey everybody, welcome to the Freedom Focus Photography Podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Begley, and today we have a special guest with us. We have Tanya Smith from Profitable Portraits. Say that 5 times fast. Tanya photographs women beauty portraits, and she is located up in Canada. And Tanya, welcome to the podcast. So excited to have you here.
Yay. Hi, Nicole. How are you? I'm so happy to be here.
Doing great. Super excited to chat about marketing and getting clients and all that good stuff that everybody always wants to know more about.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, before we get into that, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about your business, who you serve, how long you've been in business, kind of a little bit of background.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am a women's portrait photographer. I specialize in boudoir. And I've been doing that since 2011. My background is in corporate banking, actually.
That's quite the change.
It's quite the change. And before that, I was a bartender. So if you're ever in the area and you want the best margarita ever, that's me. So I have, I've been shooting women since 2011. I struggled a lot. I was just recently, when I started, I was newly divorced with 2 little kids. And I was like, I don't want to go back to work 9 to 5. I can't even think about doing that. So I photographed my kids a lot, and I was doing like fine art, like painting. And I thought, you know what? Maybe I should figure out something with photography. And at that time, one of my girlfriends who was a model, 10 years previous, she's like, take some photos of me. And I thought, I don't really photograph people. I do kids, kind of just my kids. And she's like, let's just do it. So I tried a boudoir shoot because she was going to go. I had my own shoot actually right after my divorce. And she's like, why don't you take my photos? I'm like, no, go to this person. She's the one who did it. And she insisted, and I did it, and they were awful. Like, they were terrible. I actually took a beautiful woman and made her look worse than she does in real life. I actually never
wait, this is not how this is supposed to go.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, and then it was perfect and everything. No, it was terrible. I didn't even show her the photos. I'm like, oh, it didn't turn out. My memory card failed. Totally didn't show her. And I'm like, okay, so I can't do that. So let's forget about it. And then it was months later, and I was going through my hard drive, and I found them again, and I looked at them. Sometimes when you step away from something and you look at it again, and I thought, you know what? If I had moved myself, a little bit to the right, this would have looked better. Or if I had had her lift up her leg a little bit, this was a boudoir shoot. And I thought, you know what? Maybe I'll give it another try. So we did it again. And this time they were still bad, but they were better. And I showed them to her, and she cried. And I was like, wow, okay. Like that was for me. I thought, okay, this is pretty cool. Like, I literally changed the way she saw herself. And that's kind of where it started. So I the more you do it, the better you get. And I realized how important it was to learn posing, especially for boudoir, because regular women don't know how to pose.
Right.
So anyway, that's how it all started. And I was just hooked with boudoir. I just loved how it made a woman see herself. So I was doing that since 2011, and I really wasn't making too much money with it. But I go, oh, I got a $600. Someone paid me $600, but you can't live on a $600 shoot now and again. So I thought, you know what? I'm from corporate banking. I know how to do this. I know how to do numbers. Even though I was always told I was terrible at math and you're not good with numbers. And it turns out I am, and numbers don't have to be that confusing. So I I put together a easy way to do the business side, nothing confusing, nothing crazy. I call it now my growth method. But within that first year, when I switched it over, I got a call from my accountant, and he's like, "What the hell are you doing? Like, what is happening with your account? We need to talk." And honestly, I knew I was doing well and money was coming in, and I was just busy and I didn't have time to look at my actual numbers. And that first year wasn't even the full year. I think it was 11 months or 10 months. I was almost at 400,000 in sales. My
Oh my
account was like,
gosh.
yeah, my account's like, we need to do something. And I switched into a corporation because I was just a sole proprietorship then.
Right.
But yeah, I was like, okay, I actually have a system and this freaking works. And people started coming to me going, "What's going on? How are you booked? What's happening?" And that was probably around 2018. I started teaching photographers one-on-one. And then I thought, okay, this is taking over for my shooting.
Huh.
And now I'm just talking the same thing over and over again. So I switched it to online, and I have an online course that actually teaches my whole growth method. And I've had hundreds of students go through it, and they're all like, in six figures and multiple six figures. So it's pretty cool. It turns out I really like to teach too. So
Love it. Love it. It
yeah,
is crazy how we start on this path and then we just continue through and we're like, oh, this is not really where I thought I'd end up, but this is
yeah,
great. I love it.
yeah,
It's definitely, definitely have to have the passion for teaching, for doing this too, because,
yeah,
I think a lot of people think that it's just, you just do this and boom, and you have this like magical education business. But like,
yeah.
if you don't have your heart in that, then just like photography, it's hard to get it going.
Yeah, and I think a lot of
Yeah.
people came out of the whole big boom in, 2020, 2021, when it was actually seemed to be really easy to get photography clients. And then there's a lot of educators who are like, "Look at me, look how much money I made." And I'm like, "But are you still making that? Because it's a little difficult now." So,
Right.
yeah, and I think that happens a lot where you have to, the same as we ask our clients, you have to decide what photographer you want to work with. Not only do you like their photos, but you have to kind of vibe with them a little bit. And
Mm-hmm.
that goes the same for educators, right? You got to make sure
Yeah,
that you have the same
absolutely.
connection and you can learn from them. Yeah.
Yep. I love it. I love it. All right. So you were doing boudoir basically the whole time. So you never actually started with family photography. It was just your kids is where you learned,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
that's awesome. I actually had a similar experience when I was putting together for a presentation I was doing where I was going back to like my evolution of how I got to my style and like really mastered the craft of pet photography. And I was going back through my old work, and then I realized I'm like, I learned to photograph and kind of created my style photographing my kids because my kids were really a newborn and 3 when I left my previous job and then started my photography business. And it was really interesting to look at that, even though I did do family photography for a while too before I switched all into pets. But yeah, it's crazy how you can build your style not necessarily on the genre that you're choosing to focus on in
Yeah.
the
Like
long
I
run.
did a little bit of newborn photography. I did some family photography. I even did some weddings, and all of those are not for me. I thought, oh, maybe I'm not a photographer, but it's just that's not my genre for sure.
Yep. Oh my gosh, I never even did one wedding. I didn't even have to
Oh.
test that one. I tested all the others, but yeah, no.
Yeah. The biggest thing with wedding is I don't want to work weekends, first of all.
Yeah.
And there's too much stress.
Yeah.
Like, what if something fails? If it's another shoot, you can just have someone come in, do it
Right.
again.
Yeah.
But for a wedding, oh, no, thank you.
Yeah. 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 No, for me, for weddings, it was definitely the like, you want me to give up a Saturday this far in advance? Yeah, no, I can't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, that is why we can have all these different genres and all have work in our different cities.
Exactly.
So yeah, so let's talk a little bit about kind of growing our business, finding those leads, finding those clients, because I think a lot of people really struggle with that.
Mhm.
I know I talk to a lot of photographers that they tell me nothing's working. And then I ask them, okay, what are you doing?
Exactly.
And it turns out they might just be posting on social media. I'm like, okay, well, we do need to do more than that usually.
Yes.
Maybe back in the heyday of like, what was it, like 2012, 2013,
Just
posting
share
on
your
social
photos.
media might have been enough, but
Yeah.
no longer because I don't even know why I bother having a Facebook business page anymore because no one sees anything that
No,
happens there.
the Facebook business page there's nothing there.
Yeah.
And that is the exact thing I get too. They're like, I can't get any clients. Okay, well, what are you doing right now to get clients? And it's one or two things, and one of them is usually Instagram. And honestly, this is not maybe a popular opinion, but Instagram should really be your last thing that you're concentrating on because, I
Icing.
think,
You call it like icing, marketing icing.
Yeah, because I think like for me, for my education and for you, it's, worldwide, basically. It's,
Hmm.
US, Canada, the English speaking countries. And yes, maybe Instagram is a little bit better, but for when I was photographing women and when I was getting that going, um, Instagram doesn't do much until you've kind of already got your base. And I like a lot of my Instagram followers are people that I've photographed or they're friends or they're
Hmm.
interested in it. And that's kind of my following. For local, there's so much more that you can do for your local business
Hmm.
than Instagram. And it's so much time and it really doesn't give you much results.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's so hard to get into that like kind of local area. Not saying that it doesn't ever work. Like we
Yeah,
just both kind of mentioned that I feel like it should be a little icing on your marketing cake and not your full focus because rarely, of course there are always exceptions. Like I say this and then someone's like, but this photographer just markets on Instagram. Okay. It might work for that one person, but 99 out of 100, it's not going to be enough. I believe strongly in the importance of in-person connections and connecting with people in your market and making
100%.
connections from outside behind our camera and computer. Have you found kind of that to be your secret sauce too?
Absolutely. And that's the thing and to be honest, I didn't want to do that either. I'm like, I would like to run my business from my house and not leave, right? And I'll come out when I have a client. But yeah, I think for sure, Instagram, you should have an Instagram presence, but I don't think you should be spending time posting every day. I think once a week is plenty. Um, and I think for your marketing time, you need to be spending physical time in front of your ideal clients. And I mean, I went literally I was in, one town and I went to all these different towns nearby, 20, 30
Hmm.
minutes. Literally, I remember in the winter in Canada with all my stuff bundled on and walking down the streets at these really, nice boutiques and walking into stores and asking to speak to the owners. Like, it's hard work. You get a lot of no's, you get a lot of people not interested, but you hit 10, 15 stores and you might get 2 people who are interested in talking to you. But it's what you have to do. You have to put your feet to the pavement, and it's something that not a lot of people do. So you're going to stand out. But I think the biggest thing is you have to know that your business is easily 80% marketing, easily.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing that I don't think a lot of photographers or creatives in general are, they understand that, or they're not ready to do that. And the majority of your time should not be editing. It should not be photographing clients. It should be marketing. And that kind of leads into why you need to be priced properly, because if you want to make money, you can't shoot 3 times a week or 4 or 5 times a week. You need to shoot, 2 times a week and make the same amount of money so that you can spend those other 3 days, marketing and keeping the funnel going with clients.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. And you hit the nail on the head too, that most people aren't willing to do the marketing. And so therefore what becomes a crowded market becomes very uncrowded when you're willing to do the things that most people aren't willing to do.
Absolutely.
Can you go into a little bit more detail of what those partnerships might have looked like, or some ideas that people can get for like what are you asking when you're meeting with that owner? What are you proposing to them? What's in it for them? What's in it for you? What could that look like?
Yeah. So for me, it'd be a little different because I would hit up stores that my client would go to. So my client, the biggest thing is, and I know everyone heard about your ICA, your ideal client avatar, but it's essentially, it doesn't have to be confusing. Just who do you want to photograph? And then for me, it's like, oh, it's women. Okay, but is it 20-year-olds? Is it 40-year-olds? Is it, so who is your woman? And for me, it was a mom in her mid-40s who her kids are starting to get older and she's starting to find her time back and wants to feel like a woman again and not just a mom. For you, you would decide who those pet owners are, what they look like, what their age is, what, kind of pets they have. I would hit up women boutiques, yoga studios, plastic surgeon office. You obviously would be like, pet stores and, vets and all that kind of stuff. But I just kind of walked in, I introduced myself. I told them, here's my business. This is what I do. And I would hand out a voucher. So a gift certificate, whatever you want to call it. And it would be for the owner to have a session with me. So the voucher would be, they'd get 4 or 5 or 6 images, but they'd get the whole experience. So they'd get the hair and makeup or, whatever your experience is in your genre. They'd get the whole experience. I'd show them, say, 30 photos, and they could get their 5 complimentary photos. And of course, if they want to buy more, they could. But lots of times they didn't. And yes, lots of times I was out of pocket for my hair and makeup artist and my time. It's part of marketing. But once I did that, I knew that they would love the experience. And then they would talk to their clients about it, which was my clients. So then I would give them a stack of vouchers for a smaller amount. So they'd get like $100 off or something, which wouldn't get them any images. But the voucher would be from the XYZ store owner. So the store owner's name has given these. I'd do them all up. They looked really nice. And they would hand them to their clients. Hey, I just met a photographer. I had a great experience. Look at my photos. If you want to go see her, it's great. It's amazing. She takes care of all this, the hair, makeup, and everything. And here's a voucher from me to you, from the store owner to her client. So that's what I did. And I printed out hundreds and hundreds of vouchers at the beginning. And honestly, I mean, I got people, like I would say maybe 7% of the vouchers I handed out would actually reach out and call me. And then maybe 50% of those would actually book. So yes, like people, you are going to do a lot of legwork and you're not going to get a lot out of it at the beginning, but I would still get people going, hey, I don't know if you remember, but 2 years ago, I got this voucher from this store, and of course you're going to honor it, even though I put an expiry date on it, but I'm like, oh, absolutely. So I still get them. I don't think I've handed out a voucher in probably 5 years, and I still get people going, hey, I got a voucher from you.
I found this in the drawer and oh my gosh, I totally forgot I want to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I think people need to rewrite the definition of successful marketing. So I feel like so many photographers think that they're just going to find one marketing solution, and that's going to be the magic marketing solution that we're all hiding underneath this paywall that we're not going to tell them until they give us a whole bunch of money, which is not the case. Like we're telling you guys what to do right here.
Yes.
There's no secret. You just have to do it. But they think that it's okay. I just need to find the one thing, that one secret thing, and that's going to fill my entire calendar. And I think they also falsely believe that one thing is going to have like a 90% success rate. And if it doesn't, like if you have to go to 6 places before the 7th place says, oh my gosh, yes, I'm interested in this, then they think it's a failure or they quit after the 3rd one.
Right. I got 3 no's.
Yeah. And I just think so many people just are so quick to give up on that and just say it doesn't work when it's really a numbers game.
And did you see that thing? It's been going around forever. I can't remember originally who it came from or who I should credit, but it's he sits down, this guy is sitting down with like a kid, just ready to start his career. And he said, if I told you that you're going to get 27 no's before you get the yes for your perfect job, how excited are you to get your first no? Right?
Yep.
Like keep going, get it. Yeah, 27. Now I'm getting closer and closer because I know number 27 is going to be the one. But most people after the 3rd or 4th no would be like, well, that's it.
Doesn't work. No one wants to work with me. I can't find anything. Forget it. This doesn't work for me. Yeah. And it's just, you haven't found the right person. And, sometimes it might even be the right partner, but at the wrong time, that if you reach back out to them later on, that it might have changed to a yes.
That's my number one thing for marketing is the biggest mistake that everyone is making is not following up. Like if you have someone who reached out to you, that's a warm lead who was interested, but was like, no, too much money, or I can't do it right now, or whatever, follow up with them. And not once, like 6 or 7 times follow up with them. Right?
And it's totally okay to follow up with them even like the next year of just like, hey, I was just going through some old things and I, came across your name and I just wanted to reach out. I hope everything's going well. And
100%.
Just a really soft, if now, if you're interested in talking more about this, I'm here for you. Just really casual. You don't have to do some crazy hard sell.
Nope. Absolutely.
Just letting people know. And I think a lot of people are really worried that they're going to be annoying when they do that. But I challenge you to look in your own life and like, has there been a time where somebody followed up with you and you were super thankful for it?
Yeah, think about Google. Everyone's like, oh my God, Google's listing, whatever. I'm super happy that I was like, damn, where was that thing I was looking for? And not, the next day I'm like, oh, thanks, Google. There it is. But, it's listening to what you're doing and what you're interested in. So
I actually just got, because my husband's like, oh, I hate that I get tracked for all the things. Well, I kind of like getting the ads that it thinks that I'm going to like, because it showed me this hotel chocolate velvetizer to make homemade hot chocolate. And I'm like, oh my God, I really want this. But it was like one of those things I'm like, oh, I shouldn't get it for myself. My birthday's coming up. So mom's like, what do you want for your birthday? I'm like, okay, actually, I'd really like this. So it came in last week. I made my first glass of it yesterday. It is so good. So thank you, ads, for that.
Yeah.
And I saw them for a long time. I probably have been served this ad probably for at least 6 months. And then, yeah, now I have it. And now I just ordered more chocolate packets.
There you go. Yeah. And that is the case too. Like, I would say almost everybody that reaches out to me, hey, I've been following you for a while. I've been following you for 2 years. I've been following you for 3 years. My friend got a photo shoot with you 4 years ago. Like, you get people who will come out, reach out to you as long as you stay in touch with them, as long as you stay, forefront, right? Just make sure they see you, whether it's Instagram or whether it's an email list or whatever. Make sure that they still know you're around and you're still there.
Yep. I've had people, because I used to live in Pittsburgh, and then we've been down here for 8 years. So I was in Pittsburgh for the first really 8 years of my business, or 7. How long? I've been here 7 years. Whatever. I've been here for quite some time. And I've actually had more than one client, 2 or 3 clients that were people that I knew in Pittsburgh that have hired me here because they were either coming through or they had a house in South Carolina or whatever. So like, these are people that were on my email list in Pittsburgh, in a different town, like 400 miles away, that will still seek out services later on. And that goes with the not getting frustrated too. If you get an inquiry and they say, no, not right now, that doesn't mean they're never going to hire you. I've had so many people that, maybe they were a little surprised at what it actually cost. And they're like, oh, I can't do this right now. But then they save up, and a year or 2, maybe 3 or 4 years later, they do hire me. So marketing is a long game. And yeah, we just have to keep following up, keep getting out there. I love that partner marketing. One of my favorite marketing strategies is charitable marketing. So silent auctions.
That's on my list too. Yep.
Yep. Are doing partnering with different nonprofits, usually like a medium to small size rescue, where they promote sessions to their followers or their supporters, and then it's a special rate, but then part of their session fee goes back to the charity.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a win-win.
Yep.
Once you create something like that, so once you create the partner marketing that you were talking about, once you create the charitable marketing kind of main strategy and you do it once, it becomes really easy to rinse to repeat, switch out a logo, change a little bit of the messaging, and you can do it over and over and over again.
Yep. And that can be part of your ongoing marketing. So when people ask, how do you find clients? You do all of the things. That's what you have to do. You have to do all of the marketing strategies, and then you'll find ones that work for you, for your genre, for your area, and ones that are not, are ones that you kind of enjoy, that you're like, what, I can do this. I can keep doing this. This works well for me. I'll keep doing it. You can do expos and shows. You can try that. Actually, you know what? After this, I'll give you a link. I have a list of free marketing ideas. I think there's a whole bunch of them. Yeah. And they're just try them all. Just do all of the things until you are busy, consistently busy, and then continue to do most of the things so that you can stay consistently busy.
Yeah, I love that. It'll be in the show notes, guys, if you want to grab that freebie. But yeah, no, 100%. I had a thought and it just went away. Well. But yeah, no, you have to keep doing the marketing. Oh, I remember the thought. And another way too, instead of feeling like I have to do this, because I think a lot of people approach it from this really heavy, like kind of crappy mindset about it. And then it's not going to be as successful. So can you ask yourself, like, how can I make marketing fun? How can I make a partnership fun? What, just kind of shift that energy about it a little bit and ask yourself how you can make it fun for you. And then, like, the sky's the limit. We have people in our community that have done like calendar contests and like these bingo events and like so many fun, unique things that there's no limit to like what kind of fun thing you can create. It's just kind of thinking, all right, where are my people? that I want to reach? What businesses or charities also reach them? How can we all come together to do something that's going to be fun for them and benefit all the people involved? And it
Mhm.
can look like so many things.
Yep. And I have like a lot of those partnerships that, I would go to. I still have relationships with these store owners.
Mhm.
Some of them have moved on to a different kind of business that they have. I've had, you just go and talk to them and then they go, hey, and they reach out to you, a year later and they say, hey, I'm doing this event. Do you want to come here and do, it just, the relationship grows and grows. Like you're not walking in going, hi, please tell all of your clients about me. Like you're looking for a relationship with these people, right? So yeah, that works out really well, but there's lots of things to do, but it requires you to step outside of your comfort zone a little bit. But if you're doing this to have a business and you want to make money and be profitable, you kind of got to do the hard things.
No,
Not
100%.
easy.
And I do love the really the way that you talk about your partner marketing, that you're going in and you're offering a wonderful experience for someone. It's 2 points here. It's not you going in and just saying, hey, like promote me. It's you going in with a gift. And also for a business to promote someone, just think about it in your business. Like you're running your photography business. If, a hairdresser came in or a dog trainer came in and said, hey, can you promote me to your people? And you didn't know anything about their experience. If you're promoting them to your people and they get a bad experience, it's going to reflect poorly on you. So by you offering this complimentary session to the people that are going to be hopefully promoting you, then they have so much more faith in that promotion, knowing that they're promoting something that their clients are going to enjoy and their clients aren't going to get burned by.
Yep,
So
exactly.
that's a really important piece, because I think so much in the industry, you hear so many people saying, charge what you're worth, don't give things away. And I think people hear that and then they hear what you're suggesting to do for these marketing partnerships. They're like, well, but I can't give things away. But it's nuanced. It's different.
Yes, it's marketing. And it's not, it's a twofold gift, right? Because you're giving them a gift of the experience with some photos. And you would also be like, I didn't go in and say, hey, do you want a boudoir shoot? I went in and said, I'm a woman's portrait photographer. Here's the kind of images I do. Some were boudoir, but some were also just beauty and branding. So I would do branding shots for these store owners so that they could share it on their social media. So that's their gift. But then they also got a gift of, here's a whole bunch of gifts that you can give to your clients. So it'd be like someone coming up to you and saying, hey, I want you to tell all your photographers, all your clients about my grooming business. But you're not going to do it. But if they take your dog and groom your dog and give your dog the whole experience and you love it and everything is great, and then you're more likely to refer it. But also they gave you a bunch of gift cards from Nicole. This is a gift from Nicole to your client to get this grooming at a special deal. And it looks like you're giving your clients these gifts that are worth, $300, $400, $500. So it is a win. I had a really good relationship with a plastic surgeon's office, and she would do a gift basket. Because remember, my clients are like mid 40-year-old moms, and a lot of them go and get a little nip tuck or a little whatever they need to freshen up. And she would give them a gift basket after their surgery, and it would have, little care items and little stuff. And in there was my gift certificate that I put together, put it in a beautiful black envelope, put a bow around it, and it looked like the surgeon purchased this gift certificate for them. And surprisingly, I did not think that would do as well as it did. And I got so many clients from there and referrals of clients from there. So, you're giving the store owner a gift and then you're giving them another gift. So you're not really asking them for much. You're just kind of giving.
Yeah, I love that.
Which
I
really
love that. So good. This has been just a really good conversation and a really good reminder for what it takes to just get out there and market our business. I think one of the traps that people fall into is they do some marketing, they get a little bit of traction, then they get busy, and then they get too busy to market. And then all of a sudden, it's like, what happened to all my clients?
100%. So it's a feast or famine, right? Your marketing works. You get booked up for 3 months. Now you're head down, you're shooting, you're editing, you're delivering, you're doing all that. And then the 3 months are up and you're like, damn, I don't have any clients. Then you do it again for 3 months. You try to get clients and you book. And that's not what we want. We want a consistent business, which means don't shoot as much, which means you have to charge more money for your shoots, which is people are like, well, then everyone says no because I'm too expensive. That's good. You don't want everyone to say yes to you. Then you're going to be too busy and you can't market and keep finding those clients. So yeah, It's scary. I always say business doesn't get easier. You just get better.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's mostly marketing so that you can stay consistently booked for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And I also want to throw this out there, although your seasonality might be a little bit different, because I imagine you get pretty busy around Valentine's Day.
Nope.
Where you no?
I don't have any busy times at all. People say it too. And like, I don't have the family fall busy. I don't have Valentine's busy. People will reach out to me. I'm getting people reaching out to me. Seriously, what's today? The 11th? I think it was the 6th. Can I do a boudoir shoot in time for Christmas? I'm like,
no.
Not only do I not have any shoots available
in time for Christmas.
Yeah, I don't have any shoots available. But even if I did, if I was able to shoot you today, no, you wouldn't get it in time.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then I feel like there's also this industry fallacy that it's just like, oh, just first quarter is going to be super slow. And it's just like, should be accepted. And we should all just know that we're going to starve for 3 months. But it doesn't have to be that way.
No, it never has. And there's so many photographers that are not like that. So I just, and also remember, you know, people say I don't have time to market. I guarantee you're scrolling Facebook and reading all these stories about other photographers doing well, or all these client horror stories that they're typing about, and you want to type in there. Stop doing that. That's not helping you at all. But yeah, people are doing it. Then that was my big thing too. I'm like, okay, people are making money doing this. Why can't I? If someone else is doing it, I can do it. I can figure it out. So yeah, I feel like if you truly want this to be a business and not a hobby, then you got to do the uncomfortable work at the beginning. But then the uncomfortable work gets much easier, and it really does. And it just becomes a cool thing that you do. And I go to events with, you know, these store owners that I've been talking to since like 2012. And they're having events, or they're opening another store or whatever. And you just kind of end up doing these things. And they're like, oh, I get a call from someone, and it's like so-and-so from this women's boutique store gave me your name. And I'm like, oh my God, I haven't talked to her in like 4 years. You know, but it's, like you make these relationships, and you're the first person they think of.
Yeah, I love that. One more quick question before we wrap up. And that is, you, like when you were doing just photography before you were into education, were you having a kind of like marketing Monday? Like, did you clear out time in your schedule to prioritize marketing? Because I think it's really easy to, oh, but I've got to edit, and and this, and you know, there's, I don't know what the rule is, but basically like the time needed to do a task will expand to the time available.
So, and it will too.
So how did your schedule look, or how did you keep yourself accountable to keep doing the hard things that are easy to procrastinate when you don't have accountability?
Yeah. So I did, I used 17 Hats for my CRM. And I blocked off, I gave access to my hair and makeup artist in there. So I would block off days that I'm going to shoot. So there'd be 2 days a week. I only do 1 day a week now, but 2 days a week. And I would it would be usually Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I'd put it in there, and it would say hold for shoot. And I would add my hair and makeup artist in there. So those are the days I'm shooting. And on those days, I would also do my consults and my reveals. So I'd be at the studio for those 2 days. Now I would normally do Monday and Wednesday. That's at home marketing. And it would be specific. I wouldn't just call it marketing. I would say, head to Burlington and go to these stores, you know, put together like whatever I was doing for marketing is I would put it in there, put together a Facebook ad, figure out how you're going to run your sale. Like I would definitely use those Monday and Wednesday would be marketing and finding clients. And, you know, yes, you still have to answer emails, right? Like you have client admin that you have to do, and that would be part of it. But I wouldn't get lost in the client admin and do that all day and then be like, damn, I didn't do anything. I would literally schedule it because for me, I would put it off, right? And I wouldn't do it. And then Fridays, I usually left open, and I mostly took Fridays off. So I had Friday, Saturday, Sunday off almost every week. And that was mostly just from necessity with my kids and with the divorce and everything. But it turned into a thing that I just kind of kept doing.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Once in a while, of course, I'd be like, okay, I actually have to do this on Friday, you know, but mostly I took Fridays off. So I would only work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and that's it.
I love it. I love it. That is fantastic. As we wrap up here, I want to thank you for being here. Can you let everybody know where to find you online? And you also have a super exciting summit coming up. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. So I, and this is how we met, because I had Nicole on at my summit. I know you just ran a summit too. So I have an online conference called the Mastery Summit, and it's for portrait photographers of all genres. So, There's no wedding photography stuff in there. There's no commercial, but pets, boudoir, branding, headshots, seniors, and it's free. And I just have a bunch of different speakers and expert speakers. Like I said, Nicole was one, telling you how to help you grow your business and perfect your art. So it's happening on January 21st is coming up. Hopefully this is in time.
Yep, this will come out before. Yep.
Perfect. So January 21st, 2025. And you would go to my website, profitableportraits.com/summit, and I'll give you that link too. And if it's on, you'll be able to grab a free ticket. And if it's not, you'll be able to hop on the wait list. But it's a pretty cool thing. And it started off being, you know, just kind of a crazy idea. And it's turned into kind of an awesome thing. Like I've got some really big speakers in there teaching really juicy stuff. Yeah, and I'm excited for it. So that'll be the third time I'm running it. And that's coming up. Yeah. Which is cool.
Yeah, definitely go check that out, guys. Let Tanya know that you found this helpful today. One last thing. Do you have any last advice for people that have their head down trying to build this business? What last bit of advice do you have for them?
Yeah. And I think I always do this. This is so funny because it's so long. And if my kids ever listen to this, they'd be rolling their eyes. But the movie A League of Their Own with Tom Hanks. So there's a line in there where she's crying and he's yelling at her. There's no crying in baseball. Right.
Yep.
And that's the whole thing is if it wasn't hard, then everyone would do it. Mm-hmm. So if you it's just, for me, it's so frustrating because I'm like, it is hard, but it's not difficult. If you're willing to put in the work, you 100% can do it. There's no reason why you can't. Like we're not special. We're not magic. We are doing the work and we are being persistent and we're not letting the no's get us down. And there's another thing about like these expensive jewelry stores. People walk in, even me, I'll walk in, I'll be like, oh my God, I am not paying that for a necklace. And I'll walk out, but they don't care.
Yeah,
they don't care that me, one person, is never going to pay those prices for that. Right? If someone puts a value on what you offer, then they will buy it. So, and I'll say one more thing too. I'll tell that story of my son, who I've told this story before on another podcast, but he's a man, he's 24 years old. But when he was like 17, he would save up his money and he would buy these baseball hats for like $70, $80 for a hat. And I thought he was crazy. I'm like, honey, what are you doing? This is so much money for a hat. You can get one for $7 at Walmart. But it was kind of a big switch when I was doing business. I was like, he puts a value on these hats because he's a sports guy. He loves these, limited edition hats and stuff. And he puts a value on it. So $70 or $80 is not a lot of money for him to spend on a hat because he's their client. I'm not. I would never do that in a million years. So the key is to find your clients who value what you offer. And the way to do that is to show people what you offer. And then your clients will find you because they'll be like, oh, I want that. So
absolutely.
It's doable.
I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing everything with us today. You guys go reach out to Tanya, let her know what was most impactful, and go check out the summit and sign up because it is free. So there's no reason not to. And we will see you guys next week. Thanks, Tanya, for being here.
Awesome. Thanks, Nicole.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.